What's up, guys? Happy Sunday. Jake and I just got home from the gym. He is having a snack. He also doesn't like talking to the camera. But what we are doing today is a little bit of an experiment. Y'all know I've got like a huge sweet tooth. So I found this recipe on Pinterest from a website called masonfit.com, and I'll link that below for you guys, for a birthday cake, or protein cupcakes. So I'm going to use my Unico Nutrition birthday cake protein powder, because then it'll be like Funfetti cake, I think. So whether or not this sucks or turns out amazing, I'm going to share this with you guys just because I think it would be kind of fun. So let's see if this stuff can satisfy my sweet tooth. Alright guys, so it is time for us to bake. I've got the recipe up here on my iPad. I just have to scroll through all of the I hated how when you look up a recipe on Pinterest, like the blogger tells you their whole life story before actually posting the recipe. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. So if you do recipes on Pinterest, please don't tell me your life story. Just give me the flippin' recipe. So what we are doing is I've got sugar-free cake mix. The recipe specifically calls for the sugar-free cake mix. As we go through this, I will actually be putting everything into MyFitnessPal, so it'll spit out the calories right off the bat. So this recipe calls for 2 cups of this stuff. This is a pain in the butt because it's still in the box. I am planning on saving this, so if they turn out good, I already have like more of this in the cupboard that I can use. So this is 186 grams of the sugar-free cake mix. Let's see, then it calls for 2 scoops of protein powder. So I've got my Unico Nutrition Apollo. This is the birthday cake protein powder. I think it's going to be extra fun for this recipe because it's got sprinkles in it. So it'll be like funfetti, at least that's my hope. So the recipe calls for 2 scoops. And again, I am going to put this on the food scale just so that I can get it as accurate as possible. I am getting powder all over the place. That's totally fine. So this came out to 82 grams of protein powder. And then I need some eggs. So at least it's 3 large eggs. So whenever I'm putting stuff into MyFitnessPal, if it's something like a vegetable or like eggs, I always look for the USDA entry, just because those are typically the most accurate entries. I'm not going to weigh this, even though I probably should. So I'm just going to assume it's 3 large eggs is the same all the way across the board. And then, last but certainly not least, it calls for 60 milliliters of almond milk. I always buy the unsweet vanilla, just because the sweetened one, it has a lot of sugar that's not super necessary. So this is, I believe, is brand new. Got a mess over here, my goodness. I am making a disaster. And that's fine. I spilled almond milk all over my phone. Alright. Oh, look at that. 61 milliliters on the dot. I'm proud of myself. So, 61 milliliters of almond milk. Nope, I mean 60. That's what I meant to say. This is 9 calories, so it's a big spender there. So from there, I'm going to grab a fork. Mix her up. And we'll see how this turns out. Well, first and foremost, I can already tell you that I think I'm going to need to put a little more liquid in this because it is very, very dry. Put another 26 milliliters of almond milk in here. I think we're still going to need more. This is like cookie dough consistency, so it needs to be just a little bit thinner for a cake. That might be a little too much, so we'll see what happens. There we go. So I did actually end up doubling the almond milk as from the recipe on the blog. Otherwise, it was just a little bit too thin. So there we go. So yeah, it looks just like normal cake batter. I didn't do a super good job mixing the almond milk in, but the recipe says that this makes 12 cupcakes. So what I'm going to do, I got my cupcake tin all lined here, and I forgot to tell y'all, I was supposed to preheat the oven to 325, and I did do that. The dough, or the batter tastes good. I'm going to use the measuring cup. So then what I'm going to do is just spoon a little of this into each one of these muffin tins. Try to get it as even as possible. I think I need a spoon as well. So here's what the first couple of them look like. I don't know if you can see, I really hope that my camera is focused and not blurry. So these need to bake at 325 for 12 to 14 minutes or until the toothpick comes out clean. So I'm going to finish getting all of these guys ready to go in the oven, and I will check back with you very shortly when they come out. Alright, so the cupcakes just came out of the oven about 20 minutes ago. I let them sit in the pan for about 5 minutes, just because it was too hot to flip them all over and get them out. And then I put them in the refrigerator for like 15-ish minutes just to cool them down enough so they'd be ready to frost. So the cupcake alone, we are looking at 88 calories. It is 2 grams of fat, 13.4 grams of carbohydrates, and 7.3 grams of protein, which is pretty good for a cupcake. Jake requested the chocolate frosting, so I will be frosting these with the sugar-free Pillsbury chocolate fudge frosting. Let me get this all set up real quick so that I can get it all measured. So I've got my frosting on my food scale, and we are going to get these going. I was going to pipe them really, really pretty, but then I realized I don't have that much patience, so that was not going to happen. I'm going to put some rainbow sprinkles on it. Keep in mind that these suckers do have calories. Like, these are solid sugar. So I am logging the calories on this because it's 4 calories for every milliliter that I put on, and that's a lot. So so it looks like there are 9 grams of sprinkles on all of this. So that brings our grand total to our cupcakes for 3.6 grams of fat, 17.6 grams of carbs, and 7.3 grams of protein for a whopping total of only 115 calories for a flippin' cupcake with chocolate frosting. So we'll see if these actually taste good, but I mean, like I said, the dough or the batter tasted really good, so I can't see why they wouldn't. Alright, so getting up close and personal, they look pretty legit. I think they're cute. Like I said, I did not put, I was going to pipe them, but that was just going to take too long. So we'll see how they taste. I can't believe these are only 115 calories. They're pretty good. I mean, obviously they're not like bakery quality because they are using protein powder. But I'm making Jake kale chips, they're done. But for what they are, for 115 calories, I'm convinced these suckers are delicious. So you guys, I will put the recipe for these in the description box, as well as link to the original blog so you can see the post from the creator of the recipe. I did not make this recipe, but it is very good. So yeah, that was all I had. I'm very surprised because usually the protein stuff doesn't turn out that good, but this is. So don't forget to hit subscribe. I'm going to finish my cupcake and I will see you next time.